Alright guys, I'd just like to welcome you to my first little attempt at make one of these vlog style fishing videos. It's looking like a pretty awesome day, and it's just about that time of the year now where it's time to put away the dry fly rod and pick up the Euro stick, which is convenient for me because I broke my dry fly rod and all I have is the Euro stick. So I think the plan for today is poke around in some of these pools and see what we can find. I'm hoping that there'll be a few good resident fish sitting around. There's usually some good browns and rainbows, but we did have about 40 millimeters of rain come down over the weekend, so what that could mean is some big browns starting to move upriver, getting ready to spawn. And I wouldn't really be complaining if we could hook into one of those. So I'll check in when we get down to the river. We'll have a little run through what we're going to be using today in terms of equipment. Pretty keen. Alright guys, so we're here. River's looking awesome. I'm pretty keen to get into it, but we'll have a quick run through first what we're going to be using. So today I got the primal zone in a 10'6" in a 3-weight. So it's pretty soft and noodly. Still got a little bit of backbone, but it's really got some reach with the 10'6" length. On that I'm just going to be using the sort of Euro nymphing style setup, and down the bottom I've got two little nymphs that I tied up. One of them I really like, and what it is a little sort of a pink bead head crossed with some pheasant's tail and a bit of peacock. It usually does well on the rivers all times of year, so I'm really keen on that pattern. And what I've got to follow it up is just your basics pheasant's tail nymph, and that's just a killer at all times as well. So we're going to poke around a little bit with that to start off the day and see if it's producing, and if not, we'll switch it up. But I'm feeling pretty confident at this point that I'll get the job done. Let's get into it. Alright, it's a pretty promising little area here where this sort of, just behind this fast water in front of me, there's some sort of slow moving little channel through there going past those reeds. I'm liking the look of that, so I'm just going to throw a few in there and see if there's anything around. Oh, there we go. Yes. That looks like a pretty big spawning brown just there. It is early in the year for him. I'm going to adjust this drag a little bit because he's bigger than probably what I'd expected just there. I'm just going to try and walk over somewhere where I can have a chance to land it. I didn't bring a net with me this time, and there's no real reason for that other than I'm a bit lazy. Maybe a couple pounds, maybe not the biggest fish ever, but pretty respectable looking brown at that. You come over here, fella. I like them at this time of year because they're not really fully coloured up like those spawners. In fact, this actually may be a resident fish. It's still got that really golden colour. Just going to try and perch up somewhere where I can set the camera up for you, and I'll bring him in. Alright, so still pretty new to this filming while catching stuff, and no net isn't exactly helping me. But if I just give him a second to calm down a bit, I should just be able to pick him up nice and gentle. Let's see how we go with that. Yeah, really nicely coloured fish. Actually maybe, oh, that's a stonker. You can see him there. A gorgeous fish. Not really too coloured up, maybe a little bit. So I'd say it probably is a spawner coming up early with that rain. Rod It's just floating away there, but there he goes. Gorgeous little fish. Off he goes. So the way that this sun's coming across my back, it's really just casting my shadow out right where I want to be fishing. So trying to stay as low as possible, but there's a lot of room for crouching through here. Might be able to sort of position myself up behind this sort of tall grass coming in the middle of the river, and that might be able to give me a little bit of shade. Let's see. Ooh, that felt like something. Not everything feels like something, but some things do. Oh, that feels like something. It looks like it might be a... Let me see. It's another brownie. Gonna try and wrestle him back to the camera a little bit, I suppose. About the same size as the last guy. One looks like he's coloured up just a little bit more. A little bit darker. And he too looks like he's gone for that pheasant's tail nymph on the top, so that might be some food for thought. I'm not really having a lot of luck on that pink guy down the bottom. See if we can't get him in some sort of still water. I reckon I should have a chance of picking him up. Make sure you wet your hands a little bit before picking them up. That sort of slime coating on the outside of the scale is pretty susceptible to getting damaged if you rub it off. Oop. So yeah, once again, it's in the pheasant's tail. There you go. Nice little guy. Got some beautiful spots on him as well. Off we go. I'm going to chuck on something else that I know does pretty well in this river. It's pretty similar pattern, but just sort of a bright little silver bead head. It's got some green thread tied around the thorax that, you know, pops out. It might just not be a little bit as obvious maybe as the pink bead head. Still a bit more natural looking, but still got a little bit of pop to get some attention brought to it. We'll just see how that goes. I'm also going to try some smaller split shot, because I reckon what I got on at the moment is probably overkill for this sort of water. It's not really winter yet, there's no snow melt or big flows coming through or anything like that, so like I said, we'll have a play around and see what else is working. Got all day to try it. So I thought I may as well just show you the little setup that I'm using at the moment. So basically what I've got is just this little tag coming off maybe about, I don't know, 50 centimeters below the indicator. I've just got the little pheasant's tail nymph, oops, hanging off there. Then probably another 30 centimeters down from that. I've got my sort of main point fly, sort of bigger guy, maybe let's see, 2.5 millimeter bead. I just changed over to that, and I know a lot of guys do different things for this, but I've been having a bit of success with just a little tag coming off the hook bend and the split shot hanging off there. It just sort of means the split shot hits the ground first and keeps that fly a tiny bit off the ground of the water, or off the stones, I guess. And I find that puts the fly in a better position for the fish to actually take it. So I'm going to give that a whirl now and see how it turns out. So I'm just going up for a little walk up river now. A lot of this river is pretty shallow at the moment, and now that the sun's come out, it's just like, I can't imagine there's going to be too many fish sitting there. It's just way too bright and clear. You know, those fish aren't dumb and they're looking out for predators as well. So I'm just going to try and track down some areas with like either a little bit deeper, maybe around sort of, you know, waist height would be nice. And maybe a little bit of shade or some riffle coming over the top. Anything that's going to give them a little bit of protection from predators is where I'm going to be looking to try and track them down. That's close. Ooh, there we go. Got a brownie by the looks of it. And once again, it's taken the pheasant's tail nymph, so you know, at least I'm getting them on something, but I wouldn't say it's any strategy to it. It's just sort of accidental at this point. Oh, it's actually a smaller fish, but he's got a fair bit more fight in him than the others. Often can be the case with some of those big spawners. They use a lot of their energy getting up here and sort of burning themselves out. Some of these little guys are a little bit more feisty. Oop. An accidental release. Alright guys, I'm just heading back to the car now. Phone's pretty low on battery. I'm pretty low on energy. It was a pretty good little morning session, maybe 10 or 12 fish. A lot of the good size was early on in the morning, and once that sun came out it really slowed down. I think I only got one more rainbow after the sun was sort of right over the river. I'd just like to thank you all for watching, appreciate it. I've got a lot of plans for what I want to do in the future with this channel, but primarily I guess it'll be fly fishing related, maybe a little bit of exploration, camping, catch and cook, maybe a bit of fly tying, who knows. But if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it, what I could have done better or anything like that in the video. Appreciate any of that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun filming it. I think I'm gonna do a lot more in the future. So if you want to see any of that, please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And until then, take it easy. Cheers.